It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show.
Welcome to the best show that you'll ever know, the Dep Lewis Show, episode 79. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Sunday, June 2nd, 2024. A great day for a podcast about video games and much more. So that's what we're here to do. Welcome to the show. I hope you're doing great out there in the world on this June morning. It's still barely the morning. So once you hear this, it's going to be the afternoon if you're listening in real time, because everyone is press and play on the Dep Lewis Show podcast once it drops anywhere you can find a podcast. That is for damn sure. So, welcome to the show. Glad you're listening. Glad you're here. We're here to talk about video games and much more, as we always do. So I want to tell you some things to do besides just listening that would really help me out. If you could follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere, like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, tell a friend, email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show available anywhere you can find a podcast. So places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Amazon Music, Patreon, and more. Clips are on YouTube and TikTok. Twitch.tv/DepLewisShow is a great place to follow. And then Patreon.com/DepLewisShow is the ultimate place to follow and gain access to exclusive content, such as the Dep Lewis Freestyle Show. And I'll tell you more about this at the end. So you definitely want to listen to this entire wonderful, informative, entertaining, hopefully funny podcast. And then you're going to get a lot of great information at the end. So that's the plan. And so the other plan for today for this show, as always, we're going to have 3 sections. The first section will be what video games I've been playing since I've last talked to you on this microphone. So I've been having a smorgasbord. Is that how you say it? A buffet, a mix-up of games I've been playing. So I've jumped off my standard path of the year of the RPG, and I'm playing some older games I have and also continuing with some multiplayer stuff. So I'm going to tell you about all the video games I've been playing in the first section. And then the mid-section of the show is when I tell you about all the video game news around the world, all the video game happenings. And we had a Sony State of Play in this past week. So Sony talked to us for 35 minutes showing off some video games. So I'm going to tell you all about that in the mid-section. And there's a lot of video games to talk about there. And then I'm going to set the stage for the rest of the summer, where we're going to get all the information from all these different developers and publishers and all these kind of things of all the different showcases going on. So there are a lot of those coming up in the upcoming weeks. So I'm going to set the stage for that, and that'll be the mid-section. And then the final section of the show today is the miscellaneous talk section, as always, where I can talk about anything I want to outside of the video game world. And for today, as we usually do, we're just going to get into the worldwide world of sports and talk about all my favorite teams and what's going on with them and what are my thoughts and things like that. So a very great day for a podcast. That's all I want to say. And that's what I say all the time. So welcome to the show. Hope you really have been doing good out there. Hope you've been playing some video games. Hope you've been watching some sports. We've been a little bit without basketball, without NBA for a bit. So, you got to watch some WNBA or watch some baseball, which I am definitely doing every day. And also trying to play some video games. So let's get into the video game talk here. So what have I been playing? I said I've been playing a mishmash or a remix. I've been diving into some old things, and I'm playing some Elden Ring again. I'm probably about 6 hours in on this playthrough. I've tried this a few times. I think Elden Ring is maybe too difficult for me and too open-ended. And it's very negative coming out on this review, but I've gone through this cycle a few times with Elden Ring. But I'm giving it another fair shake. It's been pretty fun. I've been finding more maps than I ever have, so I've been opening up the map. I've been watching some streamers play this, and I've noticed that the map is really, really huge, so that's pretty exciting. And I've just been treating this more like a game like Vampire Survivor, so just trying to simplify it for myself, I guess, is what I'm doing here to give myself any shot of being able to play this. So I'm just treating it as I'm walking around trying to level up, and that's really my only mission. So I've been trying to make it a relaxing game or a podcast game or a game where I can just go in and try to make sure I stay alive, because that's really all you're doing. Everyone's trying to kill you. Everything's trying to kill you in this world. So you have to really stay on your toes. And it's been doing okay for that. So I don't know if I'm going to continue playing. I think my character's been progressing pretty well. I think I'm close to having the strongest character I've had so far. I mean, that's saying a lot in 6 hours. I think the most I've ever played on a character is maybe 13, 15 hours, something like that. So Elden Ring's been fun. It's been satisfying, that niche for me right now, or niche, a niche or a niche, however you want to say that. It's been serving a pretty good purpose, and I've been having fun diving back into it. There's the upcoming DLC for Elden Ring coming out. I think it is coming out in the next few weeks, might be the next week. So I should have probably looked that up for this discussion, but it's called Shadow of the Erd Tree. And I think it's going to be more difficult than the base game. So it's something I'm not necessarily interested in, but I'm interested in the coverage and the feedback and what's going on with it, at least, because this is a very cool game. I know I sound negative on it, but I think it's just more of a style thing, and I haven't given it enough of a shake. I'm a little bit scared of the game, actually, kind of thing. But I am trying to boil it down so I can play some. So that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to treat it like Vampire Survivor. So that's my tactic for Elden Ringing right now. I'm playing an astrologer. I'm mainly using magic. I'm riding around on my noble steed a whole lot, and I'm just trying to level up. That's all I'm really trying to do. I'm putting points into mind and intelligence, and it's been fun. I was watching some Demon Souls, I think it was a quick look, or it might have been on Nextlander, but I was watching, it might have been Giant Bomb quick look from back in the day of them playing Demon Souls on PS5, and I was watching that and seeing a lot of the similarities between the FromSoft games, and this has been really the first one I've ever really given. This is definitely the one I've played the most. So Elden Ring is it's an A+ video game. It's a 10 out of 10. It's an A+. I don't really have anything bad to say about it besides it might just be too hard, and I might not have, I might just be a little bit scared of it or something, but I'm giving it a shot. So I don't even know if I want to say it's too hard. I might just be scared of it. That might be the thing. But Elden Ring's an awesome video game, and I'm playing some more of it. So that's the first thing I want to update you on. Excuse me. All right, so let's see here. The next game I've been playing is very cool, and this is something that I didn't know I had, and I believe that's probably the case for many of you out there listening right now. So if you have a PlayStation 5, you want to perk your ears up and listen to this right here. So I'm going to tell you more about this franchise in the midsection of the show, because there's been a really great announcement, but I've been playing Astro Bot's Playroom. And let me just tell you about this game real quick, because this is something I knew I had. I never really gave it a chance until this weekend, and I've been loving this game. I changed my PlayStation icon to Astro. I am all aboard the Astro hype train. So Astro Bot's Playroom. This game is free for all PS5 console users and is designed to be enjoyed by gamers and families alike. So it's either pre-installed on your console, or you need to go to the PlayStation Store and type in Astro Bot's Playroom, and you can download this game for $0 right now. And it's been $0 the whole time. It's just basically a free download, which is a blessing to all video gamers across the world. And it is a wonderful video game. So in this thing, you can explore 4 worlds, each one showcasing innovative gameplay using the new and versatile features of the PS5 DualSense wireless controller. So I wasn't even realizing how genius and wonderful of a move this was when the console came out, to have this game along with it, showing off the controller, because there are very cool things about the DualSense controller. It's one of my favorite controllers of all time for sure, especially this PS5 iteration. And it does really, really great things with the rumble and using the key, what's it called, the big pad, the touch pad, using that to draw your initials in this one thing was really, really cool, and I can't believe it's that accurate. So very, very neat. And let me tell you more about the game here. So we've been talking about the 4 worlds. So, this is a free game, but there's a lot of content. There are 4 worlds. I think there's 4 worlds in each world, and then there's some collectible things along the way. So, it's not an enormous, gigantic. How many more large words can I say? Enormous, gigantic. Man, I'm really blanking. Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. It seems like, it's an excellent value for sure. And it seems like there's a lot of content here. There's some replayability and more. There's more than meets the eye here. There's more game here than I expected. I just kind of wrote it off as a tech demo, and it is that. I'm not even going to call it a tech demo. It's a game, and it's awesome. So they're telling you also to feel the world, take control of Astro, and feel the world through your DualSense wireless controller. Every step you take, every jump you make, and every enemy you defeat are expressed in ways never felt before, thanks to new cutting-edge vibration technology. Explore, take time to enjoy the many hidden references to PlayStation console history, and collect timeless artifacts to display in your beloved PlayStation Labo. So that's been a part that's been very, very cool in this game, is unlocking the relics of PlayStation Past, and you get a really great screenshot of them, and you can look at them and you can interact with it. So you'll be looking at things like a PSP or a PlayStation 3, and I've just got the PlayStation 4. You can open the certain cartridges on it and things like that. It's just really, really cool, and it's a good look. I've taken screenshots of it to possibly put as my background, and it's a great trip down memory lane for PlayStation, and it really shows me how much I do like PlayStation. I would definitely say early on in my life I was an Xbox dominant person, and I've always, at a certain point, I started having both consoles for the most part, or having one console at the beginning of a gen and getting the second one through the middle of the gen or something like that became more consistent. And then now I've been able to try to get both of the consoles at the same time, so it's not much of a thing, but which is nice. But I think I've been more of if I had to pick one, I would be more on the PlayStation side of things these days. Just overall, I think I've enjoyed my PlayStation 3. I don't know, PlayStation 4 and 5 I've enjoyed more than the Xbone, the Xbox One, and the Xbox Series X. Not that I dislike them, but if you just had to pick one, it's just that argument. But really cool. And this Astro Bot's Playroom goes through all the history of PlayStation, and it does show me some of my history with PlayStation as I'm getting older, that I'm realizing, oh man, I do have I've had times in my life where I've been a big fan of both of these things a whole lot. So that is really all I'm saying here. So Astro Bot's Playroom is especially nice if you've been a PlayStation gamer for a long time. You get to see some really cool things and take a trip down memory lane, or get exposed to some history from the game, which is cool. So what else do they say? They say it's enjoyable for all with nonstop magic, endearing characters, and plenty of humor. This is the perfect game for families to enjoy. So I don't know if there's any multiplayer, but it is definitely a family-friendly game. It reminds me a lot of Super Mario Galaxy. It's an outstanding platformer. It feels great. Astro controls great. He can punch people in the world. That feels great. The jumping feels great. He has a hover. There's all sorts of cool interactive things in the world. There's this one thing where you get into a monkey suit and you climb up this wall and you have to move the controller to reach. And it's actually very, very fun. It took me a little while to get used to. And I felt kind of stupid, but once you figured it out, it's like a really cool mechanic. And they're doing all sorts of things like that throughout this game. And using the controller, and there's all sorts of PlayStation nods in the world. It's just so damn cool. And that's the second damn I've said this episode. So we're getting the damn counter up here. We're having a really hardcore episode of the Dep Lewis Show here on episode 79. But Astro Bot's Playroom is amazing. You should really go play it. I highly recommend it. And we're going to talk more about it in the midsection. So you're going to understand the through line or the thread here that I'm trying to get at. But there's something that inspired me to play this game this week, and I am so excited I did. I think this could be up there for one of my favorite games on PlayStation 5. And it's an excellent, wonderful, amazing platformer. So go play Astro Bot's Playroom. There's also a version out right now if you have PlayStation VR, I believe it is. It's a VR version of this game, or it's a VR game involving Astro. So I'm not a huge VR person. I've tried it maybe a couple times. I don't own any VR stuff. But if you are a VR person and any of this Astro Bot stuff has sounded good to you, go check that out because it might be right up your alley. So go check it out. It's probably very cool. So we're talking about what I've been playing. I've been playing the Astro Bot's Playroom, and that has got me to go back to a game that I really like and one of my favorite games, and that is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So PlayStation 5 game, something I beat, I think it was last year, early this year. Something I really, really love. I love Ratchet. I love Rivet. Love the whole gang there. It's just a great game, and I've been back into it. So, why not play it again? I really enjoy it. Playing Astro's Playroom was a great example of, I really do like these style of game, and Astro Bot's Playroom is a lot like Ratchet, and Ratchet is a lot like Astro Bot's Playroom. I guess Ratchet's been around a lot longer, but there's similarities there, and I mean that in a great way. And they're both showing off the PlayStation 5 in an amazing way, so that's been something cool too. They are extremely high caliber platformers that are out right now, so you're playing the best of the best, or the latest and the greatest version of platformers right now. So I think there's a pretty decent correlation there. So I'm back playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So I'm just going to play it, whenever I feel like it. No giant plans to complete anything, but I'm playing it on normal. So that's 2 difficulties higher than I did the first time. So I usually play the game on the easiest difficulty most of the time because I'm a noob. And this time I figured I would bump it up to normal and try to push through there, since I have no rush to try to finish it or anything like that, or any goals with it. But it's been really fun. Highly recommend Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. If it's on sale, definitely buy it. And if you haven't played it, just go play it. It's a great game, and I think it's one of my favorite games ever. So I'm back playing some Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So I just want to keep you updated on all that's going on with my video gaming. And, there's a lot of great video game stuff going on. So I'm not having to think about much of what to play. It's just like, okay, I want to play this now. Oh yeah, this reminds me of that. That's cool. Let's try this out. So, all right. So the other things I've been playing a little bit this past week, not too much, but they're my multiplayer games. Been playing some Fortnite. No grand success there. I noticed there was a Skyrim character in the game that you can buy, which is cool. So the Heroes of Tamriel, it's a Nord warrior, and he's the one available. So definitely thought about purchasing this. I only have one skin. I have Rey from Star Wars, and I don't know if I really need a second skin since I like Rey so much, but I'm always tempted at the skins. They have extremely cool skins in this game, and I at least log in or look online what's going on in the store almost every day, I would say. Or most days I do, and then some days I play Fortnite. I've been playing a lot of solo, just diving wherever, keeping it spicy, and it's been fun. I haven't really had any great finishes since I have been trying to keep it spicy, but I think it's just been helping me have some fun in the game and play some Fortnite. So Fortnite, I've been playing that pretty consistently, and Rocket League is another one as well. So same old Rocket League, still playing some of that. I actually think I'm on a little bit of a down streak on the Rocket League. I've been getting worked out there on the pitch recently and not being a good teammate, and I've been getting got. So maybe I've just been getting worse, or wherever I'm ranked has been catching up to me, and the competition is better. But I'm struggling a little bit on the Rocket League. Usually I come in here and I'm touting my Rocket League skills, but they've been down a little bit. But I've been playing both these games on my console, on my TV, or on my PlayStation 5. I don't know why I'm not being descriptive about it. And then I've also been playing them on my Switch, which has been fun too. So I've been playing some handheld. It's been a cool thing. It's definitely not the same experience as playing on the PlayStation 5 on your TV, fidelity-wise, but it's the same basic game, still fun to play. It's a great thing to play handheld and just super fun, and I'm thankful to have these games that they're free, and you can play them on multiple platforms, and you got your same profile, and you can play with friends, and it's just really, really cool. So just shout out to those companies, and I'm going to keep talking about those games most likely, since I've been keeping up with them. All right, the last thing I want to tell you about here on this first section of the show is it's the year of the RPG on the Dep Lewis Show, if you didn't know. If you didn't know, now you know. So it's nothing crazy. I've just been trying to focus on RPGs throughout the year. I have a little bit of an RPG plan of what I want to play. I have some RPGs I'm playing right now, and I just want to tell you about my list. I've been going over this list in most shows, so just keeping you updated with what's going on. This list has been fluctuating, had some changes, so, just worth saying from time to time what's going on with it. So Year of the RPG, I'm currently playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I am almost done with Chapter 16, so I have 2 chapters left in that game, so pretty close to finishing that, so very excited. And then I'm going to move on to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which came out this year. And I'm extremely excited to play because Final Fantasy VII Remake has been one of my favorite video game experiences ever, and I'm excited to play this seemingly better version in many, many ways. And then I have a plan to play Yakuza Like a Dragon into Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is a game that came out this year. And then I've been playing Super Mario RPG, which I was stuck on a certain portion for a long time, many months, and I've just gotten past that, which I've said on a prior show, but I haven't made any more progress. But I'm getting close to the end of that. I think I have 5 out of the 7 stars there. And once I complete that, I want to play the new game, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door Remake. So I really am kind of going back in time here, which I guess is good. I'm diving back in, playing the original game first. I sometimes wonder that on a lot of games that I'm noticing here, this has been a pretty good plan. So hopefully I'll keep this up. And the last leg of my Year of the RPG plan is Baldur's Gate 3, which is something I've thought about. I've played some solo, but once crossplay is enabled, which they've said is coming, Larian Studios has said I'll be able to play, across Xbox and PlayStation. I want to play with great friend of the show and friend of real life, Sanfi. So Baldur's Gate 3 is in the plans. I've thought about picking this back up solo, but I don't know if I love the combat solo, and I think it'll be the best opportunity to play with someone else. I think you can pretty much play anything with anybody else as long as it's not a terrible game. So I'm thinking that's going to be a great way for me to feel out the world of Baldur's Gate 3 and all that it has to offer. So I need to really look and see if that's been, I checked sort of recently. There's been no update from Larry, and I kind of guessed summer was, I think I said that on a previous podcast. I was just going to guess they would put it out over the summer, but I don't know. I haven't heard any more updates. So Year of the RPG, going great on the Dep Lewis Show. I really think it's I think I've been learning recently, third-person action, especially with shooting stuff, is really up there for me. Platformers, and then maybe RPGs are coming in, and I love racers a lot too, so I don't know. We need to get into that on another show, and maybe on a slower week or something like that, but there's a lot of video game stuff going on right now, so that's what I'm here to talk about. So that's going to wrap up the first section of the show. I've been telling you about all the video games I've been playing since I last talked to you. So I've been playing games like Elden Ring, Astro Bot's Playroom, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Fortnite, Rocket League, and I told you all about the Year of the RPG and how that's going, and it's been one of the greatest years ever on the Dep Lewis Show, Year of the RPG. So that's going to wrap up this first section. You're going to hear some lovely break music, and we're going to come back for the midsection of the show which is the video game news portion, the video game happenings, video game releases, all that sort of stuff. There's been a Sony State of Play to talk about, so that's some of the best times of the year to get on this midsection and talk to you about what's going on in the video game world. So, get your popcorn ready, go take your dog out, refreshing your drink, get comfortable, and get ready to listen to the Dep Lewis Show, episode 79, midsection, after this music. Welcome back to the midsection of the best show you'll ever know, the Dep Lewis Show, episode 79. This is where I tell you about everything going on around in the video game world that you need to know about. So, in the past week, we had a Sony State of Play. So something great to talk about there. I'm gonna break down all the things I thought were especially cool from that, and just highlight that this is out there. You should go watch it for yourself, so you can see the actual footage. I'm not going to talk about every game that was talked about, so there might be something in there you find interesting that I didn't immediately find interesting. So go check it out. It's around 35 minutes in length, and it took place on Thursday, May 30th, 2024. And it was a Sony State of Play. So I'm going to run down the games, and the first one is going to be no surprise if you listen to the first section. The first thing I want to talk about that was announced, definitely the highlight from this show. I think I don't think this is my most anticipated game coming out this year now, and that is Astro Bot. So Astro is back in a supersized adventure. Supersized. So I talked about how great of an adventure that first one has been so far, and this is going to be a full-fledged Astro Bot game, is what they're saying, and it's supersized, his biggest to date. In this brand new game, you will explore 6 galaxies and over 80 levels in search of Astro's scattered crew. So let me think about that. 80 levels. So if I have right now 16 levels, dang, okay, yeah. So this is going to be substantially bigger than what we've been playing in Astro Bot's Playroom. So it's going to have over 80 levels compared to 16, I think, is what's in this first game. And the game launches September 6, 2024. So only a couple months away, and with pre-orders beginning June 7, 2024. So if you want to pre-order this thing, you can, but you should definitely play this on September 6, 2024. So I just want to say, you should go check this game out. If you don't look at anything else from this show, please go watch the Astro Bot trailer. It looks so much like Super Mario Galaxy, and that is an amazing compliment because that's one of my favorite games of all time. And this looks right up my alley. And after playing this Astro Bot's Playroom, I can't be even more excited for this game. So I think this could be one of my favorite platforming games in a really long time. And it's exactly one of the types of games I like to play. Astro is such a cool character. I mentioned he's now my icon on PlayStation. Big, huge hype there, big change, big monumental shift right there. Having Astros just really, really falling in love with this character in this game, and it's really, really cool. So I'm so excited for this game coming out. I think they did an excellent job. I think a lot of people are probably having the same experience as me if you have been a noob and been missing out on the Astro Bot train. So hopefully a lot of other people are having the same experience, which has been very fun, and hopefully someone's listening to this right now. I'm going to go play the Astro Bot's Playroom on their PlayStation 5 right now. Go download it. It's $0. It's free, and you can download it and play it. You can get a taste for what this game is going to be like, and then you have a couple months to get ready for Astro Bot to drop down the stone cold cash that you got to have to play this game. And I think it's going to be worth the money, and it seems like it's going to be the best game of the year. I think that's what it's going to be to me, possibly. I don't know. That could be some hyperbole. I'm going to get into some really cool games pretty soon after I finish some of these RPGs. But Astro Bot looking super cool. Definitely the coolest thing in the Sony State of Play to me. And I got to say, I don't know, you always want to say it's not negative, but here's a negative. I thought that was pretty much the only thing from the Sony State of Play I thought was super interesting. The only thing I think I would play immediately from any of this stuff. So I'm going to run down the other stuff in here. I think some of this stuff looks cool. I just don't think I can play every game and every style of game. And I'm trying to hone those in by, having the year of the RPG, trying out RPGs to see if, what I like about those and things like that. So, can't play everything. And not saying these games are bad, but it just might not be something I'm going to immediately be jumping into. But I still want to tell you about some of these. So Monster Hunter Wilds. And I have these in order of what I thought was cool. So Astro Bot's number 1 to me. Monster Hunter Wilds is probably number 2 from this. And they showed a new trailer for the upcoming action RPG, which details the rich, living world you'll be able to explore when it releases on PS5 in 2025. So a little bit out there. Have to wait till next year. They don't really give any indication of when. Seems like it's a pretty big game, so I don't know what that means. I was about to say it'll come out later in the year, but that is really not the case anymore for video games. You can expect any style of game at any time of the year pretty much. for the most part. A lot of times, companies want to have a game around the holiday season, which is I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking of. Usually companies want to have stuff around a big game around the holiday season, but there's amazing games that get dropped in May. There's amazing games that get dropped in January, June, etc., etc., etc. So it's not a complete indication on what's going on with it. But let's see. In a dedicated PS blog post, Capcom introduces some of the monsters and characters, as well as more info on the Hunter's new mount. So you can go read that for some more information. This trailer is definitely cool. This game looks amazing. There's some giant beasts in the world you're fighting. You can play multiplayer, which seems fun, and co-op, which I think would be fun if you had friends who wanted to play this game. And I think would be kind of like my Baldur's Gate 3 argument. I think I would need a group of friends or someone to play with that would, like, this is a game I'd be a little bit scared of, I guess, because you're fighting giant beasts. There's a lot of coordination. You probably got to have some good strategy. And, like I'm saying, any game you play with somebody is probably fun, unless it's just a horrible game. And you could probably even have some fun doing that too. So Monster Hunter Wilds seems very cool, and that's the second game I want to tell you about. So let's see, what else is going on? Marvel Rivals. I didn't write too much about this, but this definitely looks cool. This is a game, it looks like it's a multiplayer competitive game with characters from the Marvel Universe. So it sort of looks a little bit Overwatchy for sure, and this could be pretty fun, especially if it's free, which I guess it is. Something I would at least want to try, since I like Marvel characters. I had fun with Overwatch back in the day. I'm not too much of a competitive shooter, like a team-based shooter. I guess I play some Fortnite from time to time, and Splatoon 3 have been the most recent shooters I've played online competitively. But Marvel Rivals could be fun. I have some friends that maybe want to get into this, and this game could have some mass appeal, and hopefully it's a good, just a base game in general, even for people who don't like Marvel. But if you like the characters, hopefully it's going to be cool, and I'll be checking this out. And so go check out some Marvel Rivals. They definitely look cool from this Sony State of Play. All right. Oh, got some noise going on out there. But all right, so what else? So they showed off Concord, talking about some more team-based shooters. So we got a first look at the gameplay, universe, and characters of Concord. This was what the showcase started out with, and there was a whole long look at this. So they showed off a lot of the characters. They had a lot of expensive-looking CG cutscenes showing it off, so trying to introduce you to the characters and their styles. And it went on a little long, but I think it was pretty good. I think they have a lot of hope and, I guess, money riding on this game, so they're really trying to show it off. So they're showing, as well as when you'll be able to get your hands on the 5v5 character-driven first-person multiplayer shooter. A beta is planned for later this year, followed by Concord's global launch on PS5 and PC on August 23rd, 2024. So a lot of team-based shooters going on, which is not a genre I've been playing recently. This has taken me back to the 2015 days, I think. So that's been a long time since I've been playing a team-based shooter. But there's been a whole lot of them coming out, and there's a definite trend going on. So what else from the show? They talked about God of War Ragnarok. That's coming to PC September 19th, 2024. From Santa Monica Studio and brought to PC in partnership with Jetpack Interactive comes an epic and heartfelt journey that follows Kratos and Atreus as they struggle with holding on and letting go. Pre-purchase now to receive in-game rewards, including Kratos Risen Snow Armor and Atreus Risen Snow Tunic. All editions also include access to the God of War Ragnarok Valhalla DLC for no additional cost. So God of War, a franchise that I should maybe try out again at some point. Never completed a game, and it's maybe the case where I should go back to God of War 2018 and then try to get into Ragnarok after that. But that's probably the path through if I want to try some God of War. I've been thinking the same thing kind of with Horizon, maybe going back to Zero Dawn before Forbidden West and really figuring out, just really going back to the beginning of some of these franchises, some of these games I already own. So just something to think about. All right, but we're talking about the Sony State of Play. So they also talked about Until Dawn. We got a new look at the seminal horror classic, which has been rebuilt and enhanced for PS5 and PC. When 8 friends return to the isolated lodge where 2 of their group vanished a year prior, fear tightens its icy grip, and their mountain retreat descends into a nightmare with no escape. So a little bit too spooky for me. Definitely looks cool. Go check out the Until Dawn. Another one that's a little too spooky for me for this side of the video game nation. Silent Hill 2. This launches October 8th, 2024 on PS5. The creators behind the psychological survival horror remake delve deeper into the new gameplay and narrative details on the PS blog. So something they're showing off in the State of Play, and they give more details on the blog. Another game they talked about in this show was Dynasty Warriors Origins. And some back-of-the-box talk. Omega Force unleashes the largest battles ever seen in a Musou game in Dynasty Warriors Origins, coming to PS5 in 2025. A new hero emerges to fight for survival in intense Three Kingdoms hack and slash warfare. So another 2025 release. I was watching Giant Bomb talk over the Sony State of Play. And Dan Reichert's sister Kayla is a huge Dynasty Warriors fan, and she was going crazy from the other room where Dan was streaming, and he had to run to go celebrate with her. So it was a pretty great moment, and that was definitely a highlight for me from the show of someone else getting something they really wanted. So since there wasn't a whole lot in this show that I was interested in, but there's a lot of people loving these games, so that's why I'm telling you about them. All right, the last one to talk about is a game called Infinity Nikki, and this one is just memorable in the name, really. This is an open world dress-up adventure game coming to PS5 with a beta test due later this year. Alongside Nikki, awaken the magical powers hidden within various outfits and embark on a journey filled with fun. So might not be my cup of tea. The game looked pretty cool, had some cool graphics, characters floating around the world on some cool mechanisms and wearing stylish outfits and things like that, and the name Infinity Nikki is pretty unique, so something to go check out. And there's a lot to go check out, so please go watch that Sony State of Play. Go watch somebody talk over it. I think everybody has done one. I even saw Jeff Gerstmann did one, so I don't know if he did his live or not, but you can go watch his. I watched Giant Bomb do it. I was trying to watch MinMax, but their stream was having some trouble, so a lot of great crews to go watch. And I think Nextlander did it too, so a lot of great crews to go watch if you want to watch someone talk over the Sony State of Play, or you can just go straight to Sony's YouTube and watch the base footage, around 35 minutes in length, and definitely worth watching. And please go check out the Astro Bot from that. If you heard nothing else from me in this section, go check out the Astro Bot. So with the summer rolling on, we moved into June here. Like I'm saying, today's June 2nd. We have a lot of summer showcases going on. The old days used to be E3. We get all the information there of what's coming on second half of the year and in the future. But now we have multiple events, and I'm going to tell you the breakdown and the schedule of that so we can keep them all steady in our minds. So let's see. This next one starts on the 7th of June. So let me look here. So that is this Friday. So if you're listening in real time, this summer, we're going to have what? They're all going to be next weekend? 7? Okay. We'll have one of these to talk about next week. So the one we'll have to talk about next week on the show is Summer Games Fest, which will be June 7th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Eastern. This is live from the YouTube Theater. Get a look at what's next in video games. They're going to show off Dragon Ball Sparking Zero as one of the games going to be talked about, and there's going to be a lot of great announcements here, a lot of great visuals, a lot of great things to see. This is probably the biggest showcase of the summer, I guess. And Jeff Keighley definitely wants it to be, and it definitely kind of is, and something I'm going to be tuned into. This upcoming Friday, so it looks really cool. Summer Games Fest, June 7th. All right, so then we have Xbox Games Showcase will be on June 9th, 2024 at 1 p.m. Eastern. And that is the following Monday. No, that's next Sunday. Wow. So, maybe I don't know. Next Sunday I'll either record before or after that. But next Sunday, if you're listening real time, you can watch the Xbox Games Showcase at 1 p.m. Eastern. Xbox reveals what's next, followed by the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct. So they have announced Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is coming to Game Pass day one. So I don't think I've mentioned that yet on the show. I think that's a new piece of information, so pretty cool. And they're going to tell us some more about Black Ops 6 on June 9th after the Xbox Showcase. So pretty cool. And then we have, on June 10th, then we have the Ubisoft Forward at 3 p.m. Eastern. So that is 2 Mondays away. An online and in-person showcase event presented by Ubisoft, featuring announcements, updates, and previews of upcoming and live games. And then the last thing that we don't have a firm date for, but is believed to be coming in June 2024, is a Nintendo Direct. And they have, all Nintendo has really confirmed is the Nintendo Switch successor will not be discussed during this event whenever it takes place. And some speculation out there has said it may focus on some remasters like Zelda. So definitely looking forward to that. Love a Nintendo Direct. And that's the only one I don't have a date for yet. So if you're listening in real time, or in the next few days, on June 7th, Summer Games Fest is coming up. And then on June 9th, Xbox Games Showcase. June 10th will be the Ubisoft Forward. And then we have an unannounced TBD Nintendo Direct probably for June. And I guess, I don't know, I wonder if it would come, not this week, not this upcoming week, maybe the week after, like later in the week. So we're having this Ubisoft Forward is the 10th. That's the last really showcase I have written down here for big showcases, I think. And then maybe they just want to come a couple days after that, or the day after, and get their Nintendo information out. So we will see. And I will definitely keep you updated on that information here on the Dep Lewis Show. So the number one place you want to listen to each week, usually on Sunday. Get a recap of the video game week and get a look ahead of what's going on so you can be informed on what's going on around the video game world. So that's the main objective of this section. And, what we talked about today was the Sony State of Play. We talked about Astro Bot. We talked about Monster Hunter Wilds, Marvel Rivals, Concord, God of War Ragnarok, Until Dawn, Silent Hill 2, Dynasty Warriors Origins, Infinity Nikki, and there were more games in there, so go watch that. Then we talked about the upcoming schedule for Summer Games Fest June 7th, Xbox Games Showcase June 9th, Ubisoft Forward June 10th, then the upcoming Nintendo Direct sometime in June, but we do not know when. And I think that's true. Maybe it might not be June, but that's all the rumors and speculation out there. But that is all they are at the moment, is rumors and speculation. So that's going to wrap up the midsection of the show. We are done talking about the video games for today until next week. So we're going to wrap it up. We're going to come back for the miscellaneous talk section where I can talk about anything I want to outside the video game world. And all I have for you today is we're going to get into the worldwide world of sports, which is another world that I love a whole lot, besides the video game world. So we're going to get into the worldwide world of sports after this music, so you don't want to miss it. So come back for the final section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 79, in just a few. Welcome back to the final section of the best show you'll ever know, Dep Lewis Show, episode 79. This is the miscellaneous talk section where I can talk about anything I want to outside of the video game world. So I just want to get into the worldwide world of sports today. Going to be a pretty quick hitter. Just want to go over what's going on with my favorite teams out there in the world. And most of my teams are in the off season right now. So the first team, Carolina Panthers, I don't have any updates there. They're in the off season. I have minimal hype. I'm excited for all the Xavier Legette things I've been seeing. Still been seeing a lot of good stuff there. A lot of great videos from him and the Carolina Panthers team, and that is the main thing. So Carolina Panthers just going to keep having a placeholder here for you to let you know I'm riding with the Panthers, favorite team of the show, favorite NFL team of the show, and they're in the offseason. So another team that I'm a de facto fan of now since I am a North Carolinian resident are the Charlotte Hornets. Been able to go to some of those games, and they have the 6th pick in the upcoming draft. Is the exciting thing going on with them. I think we're waiting for the NBA Finals to wrap up, which is the Mavs and the Celtics, and then we'll be getting into draft mode, I believe is the case. But my favorite NBA team of all time and favorite NBA team is the Atlanta Hawks. They have the 1st pick in the upcoming draft, and they have the big stand down between if they're going to trade Trey or DeJounte going on right now. So not the best news for Hawks land, and they need to figure their roster out. Like, really, they've been interchanging things for the last couple of years, trying to figure things out, trying to make things work, and they really need to pick a plan and stick with it. They had the coaching carousel going on for a while. Now they got this player carousel going on. They didn't make the John Collins move for years. They've been kind of doing some of the same stuff now with trying to trade DeJounte. It's like they've been really making some poor decisions, and it's been resulting in poor results. So they really need to figure this out, and I think they need to make a decision and stand on it and let it rock and let it roll for a little bit. They have some good players. They just need to quit messing things up on the periphery, I think is how you say it. So come on, Hawks, and get it together. And that was my impassioned speech that I didn't know I had for the Hawks today, but really, they've been in middle land, and they should be better. So get it together, Atlanta Hawks. And then my favorite team in the universe, in the galaxy, the Atlanta Braves. The one team I have right now, my one shining star I can watch right now, and all the way until October, until they win the World Series, the Atlanta Braves. So last week I was on here being very sad about Ronnie. Still sad about Ronnie, but looking more forward now, and got some more Ronnie thoughts out there. He had a lot of great quotes. He was saying how they can win without him, and he was also saying, hey, maybe he can come back and win the MVP again. So I definitely think both of those things are true, and I would love to see Ronnie come back and win an MVP. That would probably be, besides the Braves winning another World Series, that would be my second biggest baseball hope. So, get better, Ronnie, and sorry you have to go through this, and I'll definitely be miss watching this. That's what I was trying to say last week. I'm just going to miss watching Ronald Acuna Jr. play, and I will be very excited for the next day I can. So what's been going on with the Braves? They've been not doing so hot. So last Sunday, they did beat the Pirates 8-1. That was on May 26, 2024. So a whole week ago. And then the past week, they've lost to the Nationals on Monday. They beat the Nationals Tuesday, lost Wednesday, and then they lost Thursday. So not very good against the Nats there at all, a division opponent. Then they beat the A's on Friday, which, you think they should do. But the A's have been a pesky team. And then the Braves lost to the A's last night, 9-11. The Braves really tried to come back. They even took the lead at some point, but they couldn't hold on. And that was Chris Sale got kind of blown up that game. So, he's had an excellent season. So his one kind of tarnish on the season, and they really attacked him pretty good. And so today the Braves, but Chris Sale, loving Chris Sale, he's one of the best players on the squad right now. And Sunday, so today, if you're listening real time, the Braves are playing the A's again. Finish off that series at 1:35 Eastern Standard Time. So in just an hour they're playing. So I'm going to be posting the podcast and then watching some Braves is my main plan over here, and hopefully they'll be getting a dub. And let's see, I do have the just for some sports gambling talk, I do have the Braves in a 3-leg parlay. So whenever I talk about parlays in here, I don't think they've hit so far, but I'm going to bring it up again. I have the Braves and who do I got? Braves, Dodgers, and the Phillies today. So the Phillies are the late game. So this is a day-long spanning bet. I think the Dodgers are at 4, I believe. But so Braves, Dodgers, Phillies. Hopefully that'll hit. 3-leg parlay, and I got a boost on DraftKings. So please gamble responsibly. This is not advice, and just keeping you updated with what's going on with me, because I've been having a lot of fun. I'm doing some sports gambling and betting on the best sport in the world, baseball. But gamble responsibly out there. Definitely want to say that. All right, so that's what's going on today with the Braves playing the A's. And then the Sunday night game are Cards at the Phillies, which ought to be a good matchup. A friend of the show, Sampi, is a Cards fan, and the Phillies, I got them going in my bet, but I'm not a fan of the Phillies, but they've been super hot and playing very well. So just love some Sunday night baseball, love baseball in general, and that's what I got to say. So next week, the Braves are playing up in Boston at the Red Sox for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then they are in D.C. against the Nationals Thursday through Sunday. So no Braves baseball tomorrow, and then they're playing the whole rest of the week away. So let's think. The Braves Tuesday and Wednesday against the Red Sox. I would assume they'll split. And then Thursday, Friday, 4 against the Nationals. I really wish the Braves would win 3 of those after the last series against them, but I think 2 would be good. At least they need to at least win 2 of them. So that would be my hope for the Braves next week. And then I checked in. I was just looking at Braves stats. This was before the game Friday night, so these are a little bit outdated stats, but the Braves were 31-23, and they are second in the NL East. So that was before Friday's game. So they won, they won Friday. Yeah, they won Friday, lost Saturday. So they are 32-24, I believe is the case right now. So, but the Braves lead the team. Marcel led the team with homers. With Marcel, when I checked in, is leading the team with hits, followed by Harris and then Ozzie. Marcel leads the homers, and then followed by Olsen, who Marcel at that point had 16, Olsen with 8, so Marcel really has a big lead there. And then Marcel's leading with RBIs at 49. Olsen was next with 29. Marcel's average is 312. Ozzie's next with 283. So Marcel is the all-star right now for the Atlanta Braves. Pretty amazing. He's had a roller coaster. He's only really had one bad hiccup with his legal troubles, but the rest, and he's had a slump in there too, but he's really been a great pickup for the Braves on the field, and most of the time he's been a positive, I would say, for sure. And especially in this DH role, he's really kind of flourished in that change, and he's been holding them down this year, like for real. Like Marcell Ozuna, the Big Bear, shout out to him, really holding the Braves down, I guess, to this first, I don't know if we're halfway, well, let's see. We're not quite halfway, this first third or whatever it may be. It's really shout out to Marcell Ozuna playing his ass off. And there's another curse for the show today. That's a three curse show today. Really going in. Try to avoid those, but sometimes you gotta let them fly. Gotta let them fly when you're feeling wild out here. All right, and for the pitching side, I was just complimenting Sale, even though he had a bad outing the other night, or last night, if you're listening in real time. But he leads with wins. He had 8. Minter had 5. And then Morton also had 3. That's where they stood. I don't know if any of those have changed, but then Sale also leads the team in strikeouts. So a pretty good lead there, too. He had 78, and Morton's next with 59. So Morton's on the mound today, so I'm hoping for a great outing from him. Hopefully get a win against the A's, and they can get a day of rest and then move on to the up northeast away stand. So go Braves, all I want to say. Shout out to Ronald Acuna Jr., favorite player on the planet. Can't wait to watch him again, and excited to watch the Braves hopefully, really start surging here. Have some other players get hot, have Olsen get hot, have Riley get hot, and Money Mike get up in there too, and just really go crazy. Get Murphy back flowing, get Darno hitting bombs again. RC has really been doing this thing. He's a bright spot. Get Kelnick playing more, since he's going to be playing more and getting some more grooving out there. Have some Duval bombs, all sorts of things, and have the pitching staff going. We got Freed, Morton, Sale, so got some really, really good stuff there. Got Ronaldo Lopez, got Rosel Iglesias, so Minter. Team's in good shape. Miss you, Ronnie, but team's in good shape, and need to go out there and start really jamming on these teams. Really need to start stepping it up, putting the foot on their necks, and showing these teams what's up. Braves have been on a little bit of a slump here, so hopefully see them get back fired up. And I think the Ronnie thing definitely, even being a fan, was a shock to my system. Made it hard to watch that next game a little bit, and those players have to be going through a little bit of the same thing as well. So I think they got to get their feet back under them with Ronnie gone. Realize that he's not coming back this season. Not that they're all looking at Ronnie to carry them, because no one should be thinking like that, but he's a big presence on the team. He's one of the best players in the world, and his absence is going to be felt. So, but these are professional players. The Braves have amazing all-star, world elite class caliber players, so they need to get back to doing what they do and step it up a little bit. So got to pick it up out there. So go Braves. So that's going to wrap up the miscellaneous talk section of the show. We talked about all my favorite sports teams, was the main topic of discussion today. So we talked about the Carolina Panthers, Charlotte Hornets, the Atlanta Hawks, and the Atlanta Braves. And that's going to wrap up another Dep Lewis show. Thank you so much for being a listener. I'd like to reiterate some promotional talk from the beginning to hopefully help this show grow and get into more ears of listeners out there in the world. So please follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on the notifications, tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show available anywhere you can find a podcast. So places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Amazon Music, Patreon, and more. Clips are on YouTube and TikTok. Twitch.tv/DepLewisShow is a great place to follow. And then Patreon.com/DepLewisShow is the ultimate place to follow. And for $1 a month right now for the ground floor tier, for the first 100 patrons, with this tier, you will gain access to an additional podcast exclusive to Patreon called the Dep Lewis Freestyle Show. This is a podcast without a plan and has a freestyle schedule, but it's a great way to get additional content and support the show. So after the first 100 patrons, the regular price for this tier will begin. Ground floor tier pricing will never change, and will gain access to all Dep Lewis Show Patreon content always. So thank you for the support. So please go check out the Patreon. The Patreon is basically right now just a way to support the show. If you enjoy the show, if you'd like to join the ground floor tier, you will get access to some exclusive content. It's not the most consistent content at this point, because the main objective right now is to get this main Dep Lewis Show out each week. But there is additional content. You do get ad-free versions of stuff on Patreon. It's a great hub. You can get all the Dep Lewis Show content in one place, which is nice, and you can just support me, which would be nice too. So just please go check it out. That's the main thing. Just really being straightforward with that, and it's just a great way to support the show if you enjoy it. And hopefully I will flesh out the content more as the years and time goes on. That's the plan, to have more content out there as time goes. So hopefully you'd be getting in. It's called the ground floor tier. So $1 a month. Please go check it out, and just thank you for any support. Thank you for listening to any show or interacting with any of my content, and just thank you for just for being you. So hope you have a great week out there in the world. Hope you play some video games. Hope you watch some sports. Hope some of your teams win. I hope you have a bet that hits, and hope you win a lot of money. Hope you get a promotion at your job. I hope you have something good to eat. Hope you go on vacation. I hope, you get to see some cute dogs. I hope just hope you have a really great week out there in the world. Thank you so much for listening to the show as always. And please come back next week for another episode of the Dep Lewis Show, because that's where I'll be. This was episode 79, and I'll see you next week for episode 80 of the Dep Lewis Show. See you then.